listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Justified After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Justified After Show.
And welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Justified, Season 5, Episode 9, Wrong Roads. I'm John Comerford. I'm joined on the panel by Tamara Berg.
Hey, everybody.
Steve Bottomley.
Hey.
Matt Lieberman.
Hey, hey, hey.
And our very special guest, Emmy-nominated Dave Blass. Production designer of Justified and Rectified, Longmire, Cold Case, and Beauty and the Geek, all kinds of things. We're going to be talking to him in our special segment, and he will be chiming in from time to time about this particular episode. So glad you could join us. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And look at this. He's brought all kinds of gifts.
Presents.
Everyone gets toys.
That's right. We've got the...
See, if you invite an actor, you get a pretty face. You invite the art guys, they give you toys.
Look at that.
And it's just the coolest stuff.
Yeah, and
We've got booze and drugs.
There you go, which is nice.
Oxycontin.
It's Robert Quarles' real pill bottle.
And Mags Bennett apple pie hooch. That's
I will
nice.
read this later because the label is hilarious.
Yes.
There you go. So we'll get to
And a
that.
gift from
Yes,
David,
yes.
who plays Johnny Crowder.
Yeah, that's right. Here it is.
Yeah.
The official Johnny Crowder bobblehead.
David
Do
Yang.
you want to explain this poster?
I can't even go into that. That is the poster that was behind Art's desk in the first season, and everyone kept on asking, where did it go? Now you know exactly where it
Here it is.
is.
It's
It
now
went
in our
here to
hot little hands.
AFTERBUZZ.
But it's a funny story now, but I can tell it after we watch the episode.
There we
and
go.
talk about it.
All right. So speaking of that first episode, we got to get into this. We got today. We had Eric Roberts making his booze swilling debut. He was terrific.
Yeah.
We had Hot Rod giving
Never
us a
without
new
his-
definition of pencil neck, and we recited.
Nice.
We
Nicely
recited
done.
some Shakespeare with Roscoe and Juliet. So here we go. Let's get into that part of it.
That was a classic Comerford intro.
It
It
was.
was.
Thank
One
you very
for the
much. Thank you very
ages.
much. But I thought Roscoe and Jay, how much fun did they have today?
Oh my gosh.
The Harris brothers.
They were enjoying themselves.
They do this so well. If you're not familiar or he looks familiar, they drop the line in right off the top. Jay says, "Ask him about swinging the shovel."
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, oh, that's the guy. Okay, and they just bring you back into the storyline so quick and easy that way.
Well, and they also had the little clips. They had hammer and anvil.
Anvil.
They had
Yeah.
reason and need. They had all these little things that they were playing.
Down
with.
goes Frasier.
Yeah, that was great.
No, they're just absolutely having a blast, and that's the great thing about brothers playing brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
They have that bond already. They're so believable in these roles, and one of the best things about Justified, I think, is all over this episode. But just every character has a thing. Every one of them is charismatic. They're interesting. They have a point of view. No one's a straw man, and these guys definitely aren't.
Dave Andron and Leonard Chang wrote this episode, and I got to say, it felt like Elmer Leonard was over their shoulder. The dialogue, the pacing, who these characters were, I thought they did a great job in bringing that feel back. And if I was watching, I feel like I'm back. I'm back in Justified. The storylines are back. So kudos to them. They did a great job on this one.
See, that's interesting because to me it felt like a fun detour. Like Raylan says he's on vacation. This felt like a vacation, until we get to the very end when it's Raeland and Art squaring off and trying to repair this damage. Raylan's in an alien location. He's in Memphis. We've never seen Memphis, or at least not outside of Hot Rod's hideout. And he's led on a wild goose chase all over the place with this brand new character who was also a lot of fun. Eric Roberts' character, the DEA agent. I'm blanking on
Miller.
My bad.
Alex Miller. But Roscoe,
Yeah.
nice and quiet.
Oh yeah, the whole time until the last little soliloquy almost, except it wasn't on the side.
Absolutely out of the blue, and I loved Roscoe's take on King Lear. Makes me kind of want to go see the play.
Yeah.
So we the kings and
And they're the
them
bitches.
They're the bitches.
There you go. And that's the way it works. if you know Shakespeare, he's exactly right. He's speaking in the pub.
Just again, what a wonderful turn to have that come up at the very
And
end.
Jay, loving his music, doesn't want to do business until after the song's
Song's
play.
not over.
That's right. We got a whole thing there.
Well,
Don't
Good time to
interrupt.
think.
I feel like what made this episode so fun is there were so many classic scenes, and a lot of them did involve these two characters. You know, like having this moment with this song, things like that are very iconic. Like it made me feel, and I hate bringing up Pulp Fiction because, like, at this point, aren't we done bringing it up already? But that's
I was.
what made.
I was.
But that's what made that movie so memorable. Is you have these bits of dialogue, these interesting ways of hashing out similar situations to what we've seen in the past. We've seen people muscle people before, but, you know, putting this song on, their attitude, their intelligence, and then also just sort of the laconic way in which they speak is just so much fun to watch.
And it's that undercurrent of who's got the power and when will the pain come. It's kind of, you know, underlying a lot of these scenes where on the surface it's very cordial. It's, you know, we're going to play some music where you're going to have a chance to think, and you know the pain is coming.
Now, I have a question for Dave here, because when an actor gets a script like this and he sees all this fun dialogue, he goes, oh, this is going to be good. Now, when you get the script, after you figure out all the stuff you have to get done, do you go, oh, yeah, this is going to be fun for me? How does that work for you?
It's a combination. I think
Yeah.
a lot of times what we like. It's funny the scene in where you're talking about with the music,
Jukebox.
with the jukebox.
Yeah.
We found out on Sunday night. Oh, they're going to rewrite the scene, and they want the CD to go bing like that, and the jukebox does all this stuff. I'm like, the jukebox doesn't do anything.
It's a prop.
You just put a quarter in it, it just does. It does, and they're like, oh, but they want it. And I'm like, it's not Happy Days. It's not going to be like spinning around and do that. So it's things like that we have to like change at the last minute. But you get excited because you put those many actors in, especially in the scene in Audrey's, where it's at the end. It's like
everybody's
it's
there.
like
The
guy,
whole
and you're
thing.
like, it's a teeny little room, and you're like, the shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
It's a good moment because you put that many actors and that much excitement in. And what I loved what the director Michael Dinner, who shot the pilot, did was the little action that Roscoe had with the gun. With the gun, it's just it's building a little bit of tension. It's like, is he gonna flip it up? Is he gonna go for it? What's gonna happen? And I think that you start seeing those little elements, and I think that is really exciting.
That was wonderful because as he was doing that, I'm going, oh God, when is that? Oh man, there it comes, you know.
Yeah, and it was great because Michael also directed the episode with Ice Pick, where you and it's just that little tension when you build something off a little movement or a little motion like that, and I think it's really strong.
It's interesting you talked about that particular scene because I was when we were watching it, I'm going, look at the depth they're creating. Obviously, they had to because it's such a small room, so they created that. So when they're shooting that, how much are you aware of that shooting? How much do they? I know we're jumping ahead to what we're going to do in our special segment, but in that particular scene, they go, look, we're going to layer this. We need this part of this frame filled.
It varies depending on
the
scenes. Like, you know, the set for the Audrey's Bar, we established it several seasons ago, so it kind of is what it is, and it's working within the geography. And sometimes we'll make little changes or whatever. It's basically it's like a little teeny box that all the walls pop off, so you can move it and put the camera here or there or whatnot. But it's kind of. But again, it really works differently depending on the director and who's doing what.
Yeah. And he seems like he's a fun director to work with.
Michael's he's fun to work with. He's amazing, and I mean he's really set the tone for Justified. So it's like anytime he comes in to do an episode, he did the first one that we shot down in Miami.
Does everybody go, better step up?
Yeah, they do, and I think we have so many great directors on the show that everyone brings a different tone and thing. But Michael, as he's the executive producer and also he's the big dog, and he comes in and he brings the A game to everyone.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so what else? We finish up with Roscoe and Jay because we got to get to our other side. Anybody else have anything to say about that? I just enjoyed it so much, and I don't believe Roscoe's dead.
Yeah.
We didn't really see him die. We saw him get shot.
Oh, you think that Roscoe's still alive?
Roscoe is still alive.
Okay, there you go.
He is.
He is, according to Graham Yost, I believe.
Well, there you go. Then Graham said so.
I thought they held Jay's indecision just long enough, and then that last little moment where he's still not ready to give it up because he was in such total control right up to that point.
Yeah.
It's like, no, damn it.
What I love most about this sequence is there's a theme kind of running through the whole episode, and I think it's leverage. You know, it's brought up most explicitly, between Ava and the nurse who's bringing drugs for her. Yep. But at every point, with all these double crosses, with how they get rid of the first DEA agent and break out even though they're still in cuffs. The fact that he has no leverage on them. You know, he can't harm them, he can't shoot them, and he won't. They take him out. Suddenly, you know,
poor Hankins, man.
Yeah, poor Hankins.
Yeah, he gets just
he
terrible.
gets a bad
hard day.
kind of a crummy last name.
He was kind of thinking that he was going to have a cool day because he was going to get to ride along.
No chance.
No
chance.
Yeah, why don't you just come along, Hankins? You know. But at this last moment where they have the drop on the four guys at the table, and then Boyd is kind of building up the fact that he has leverage over them if they're willing to get rid of the crows. He seems pretty serious. And then, you know, Raylan and our DEA agent busting through. Now they have the leverage. You know, it's a fun little seesaw game.
Okay, before we go any further, I'm going to turn it over to Marissa. Marissa's going to tell us about a fabulous new show coming up by our very own executive producer, Maria Menounos. Marissa, what can you tell us about this? We'll be covering it here, I assume, on AfterBuzz.
Yes, we will be covering it, and we actually have a short little message from Maria Menounos herself.
Well, there you go.
Yay.
All right.
Tuesdays on Oxygen.
I'm Maria Menounos, and my life can get a little crazy. I host Extra. I'm an actor, producer, dancer, wrestler, and a lot of other things. I live with Kevin, my boyfriend of 15 years. Do you really love me?
I would say that I'm in serious like.
And my parents. Yep, I just said I live with my parents.
You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. My parents want us to get married.
You both love each other. Get married.
Kevin and I don't. I am going to get married when I want to get married. I think I want kids. Kevin definitely doesn't want them now.
This is being pushed on us.
And of course, my parents wanted them yesterday.
This year, you gotta have it.
And I have a house full of people counting on me financially. If I take my eye off the ball, everything can fall apart.
It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or wants us to do. It's what we want to do.
Everyone thinks that they know what's best for me, but I'm really the only one. I have got to figure things out.
Chasing Maria Menounos is so new. Every Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, starting March 18th, only on Oxygen.
Okay, great. Thanks, Marissa.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
we are.
Wish Maria a lot of luck on that, and Kevin as well, since we're good friends with them.
Yeah, exactly. Since we've known them for a really long time.
She's obviously Maria's going through her own trials and tribulations. That takes us to Ava and hers.
Oh,
Ava's in prison.
Ava.
Yes.
She had a nice little tete-a-tete, shall we say, with a woman with a shiv.
Right. Okay. But I want to point something out. It's just a little, Easter egg, as they call him. When Ava's walking down the hallway to meet up with Boyd.
First time we see
her.
Yeah.
Did you notice the music playing there? Okay.
Was it Rhiannon?
Yes.
Yes, it was Rhiannon.
Yes, it was a little play on Rhiannon.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that. I mean, I don't really know.
You were saying something about the lyrics of it. It's about what?
I don't know what the song's necessarily about, but
it's a woman who's not sure she can trust.
Right. That's some of the thought is that maybe it's about it's a song about a woman who's afraid to get into relationships because she's doesn't want to lose her heart and doesn't want to be crushed.
Rhiannon, by the way, from Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Right,
her
exactly.
Relationship with Lindsey Buckingham.
No kidding, right? And so, and Ava was incredibly cold to Boyd.
Wow, yeah.
She just said to him, "This is what you need to do for me." And the minute he said yes, she went, "Okay, bye-bye." Yeah. Ava out.
Yes. There are two things. The music, the tender music was great because it reminds you this is still a love story.
Right.
No matter what, everything's going on, there's still a love story here. And her absolute abrupt. And I'm thinking, does she trust Boyd enough that he can pull this off? Because she can't let him know everything that's riding on it. But lately, he hasn't been able to pull the strings he says he can pull.
Right.
Well, or he's been too busy. And she even challenged him. She said, our future, really? Is that still the plan? Because it doesn't feel like the plan from where I'm sitting over here on the other side of the glass.
even said the same thing. Your woman's taken into her own hands.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. She's in a hell of a lot of danger. Mm-hmm. Boyd hasn't been much of a help. And I think on some level she thinks he's a little naive to think that he can still get her out of here. At this point, she's preparing for the very worst. Right. That she's in here for a very long time.
I think that's what she's realizing, is this game is getting well beyond what Boyd might be able to do. And if I don't, he can't know all the cards that I'm playing. I just can't tell him. I'm just going to have to blind trust. And that's going to be kind of hard from inside a prison.
By the way, that visiting center, is that built, or did you find that?
That's built. It's actually the whole prison is shot down in Whittier, California.
Whittier.
It's actually at a closed correctional facility. So there's a lot of stuff in this episode, and a lot of times when we're dealing with the logistics of the show, we got to cram as much stuff into one little location. So everything from the scene where they're walking through the boxes with
Right.
Yeah. That's in a warehouse that we also shot the boxing gym from earlier, and that was in that same area. The nursing home was also at the same area, and a lot of different things. So the holding area or the visiting area was just shot in what was the common room. So we basically put up a wall, throw the glass in, and turn it into that, and then yank it out the next day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in, out, in, out, in, out. So
Make it sound so easy. You're throwing up a wall.
Kudos to the art department, because the glass was all disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, one of the tricks on Justified is we do a lot of prisons, and the thing is when you bounce from her in the Harlan prison to this, it's like you got to know. And when you bounce, and then we saw in the next time on, we were back to the other prison, which is the Tramble prison.
Yeah.
So so then you're dealing with 3 prisons in one season. It's like, wait, where the hell is everyone, and who's going to bump into who at what prison? So it's kind of you have to keep the color thing. So we go with kind of a more teal green color theme for the Ava's prison, which was the Harlan one was more of a dark brown. Dingy thing, which is actually based off of the real Harlan prison that I went to. Yeah, I spent quality time.
Of course you do.
Yeah, my mom said,
you visited. You weren't.
I visited. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Years of field research.
Yes, exactly.
10 to 15.
Sweet.
How's mom anyway? She.
So Rowena has told Ava that Boyd has to do something for her in order for her to start getting the drugs flowing, and Rowena visits the bar.
Yeah.
Visits Boyd's. And we meet Boyd's new bartender, who has an unfortunate first day.
He's like Hankins.
What is this place?
Yeah.
Poor Caleb.
He was so pissed off. They shot right next to his ear. He couldn't hear. That was so
brutal.
fun.
So we learned what Rowena wants. She wants him to take care of somebody, off him, get rid of Elmont. Is it Elmont Swain?
Elmont
Swain. Thank you.
Great name.
Yeah, Elmont Swain. It sounds very Elmore Leonard.
Sure
Elmont
does.
Swain. So.
But that's not all of it.
Yeah, she decides to up the ante, and she had a great argument. Oh, by the way, you don't get to decide when we're done.
Right. And again, it's that we talked about the theme of for Ava this season is she solves a problem and then a bigger problem comes down the road. And boy did we see that this episode.
There was a lot of this is your future in this episode, and that was one of them. Ava seeing where she can very well end up. She could be Mother Superior. If this doesn't go right, she's behind bars
for life,
forever, and she's realizing that this could actually be. And there was a moment. I'll see you tomorrow. There was that moment, and that's so far gone now. And she's just seeing herself getting dragged
in the past. He's talking about in the past when Boyd was there the day she was to get out and before she got.
I'll see you tomorrow. That she was right there.
Yeah, tomorrow's a long way away.
That is so far away now, and what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? She's.
Yeah, but it's great because now she's asked to kill the person who just saved her.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love how
that is quite a pickle.
I love the line. You have to kill Mother Superior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, why does Rowena hate Judith so much? Ava kind of susses out that the reason why she said not to tell Judith about the two of them working together is that she had crossed Judith before, but why does she want her eliminated?
Yeah, we don't know that yet. I hope we'll find out. That'll be interesting. You know anything about that on the script?
No. We have wrapped for the season, so I know everything, but I'm just not going to.
We didn't expect.
I brought you toys. I don't.
It's okay.
Why don't we have a little moonshine and then maybe you'll chat a little more?
Anybody want to take a stab at what?
At what?
What Rowena's got on it?
On Judith?
Yeah. What's that about? Because look, if she, obviously she wants retribution for her partner being killed by Elmont. So I wonder what this could be.
What
did Judith do? Anybody?
I do not know.
I couldn't tell you.
I can't.
Hey, at the very least, look, she's a big player in the prison. Yeah. Better to have her removed and have her own pawn take over some portion of the population in there. It's a strategic move.
But clearly Judith is she's living on the edge anyway. With confronting the junkie with the knife. Yeah. And saying, look, if you want to kill me, do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great scene, though. I think she knew she wasn't going to go for it. The woman wasn't going to stab her. Obviously.
Yeah.
Don't you have to be kind of careful if you have a shiv in
against
the back of your
neck?
No.
No. In the back of your pants?
Well,
I do it all the time,
There's
Steve.
lots
I'm
of
doing it
shivs in
right
this
now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, and it's funny because we actually have shiv meetings because it's like when you go from one shiv to another, it's like, well, this can't look like that one. It's got so we actually have like a whole board.
Yeah, that was an impressive one. That was totally
what was this
different.
shiv made out of?
It was supposed to be like a piece of like a chair that had been then shaved down.
A metal chair? Was it? Okay, yeah, because it looked metal, but I wasn't sure.
But our prop master John Harrington has like all this research from years and years. And he's like, oh, well, you want this kind of shiv in this. And it's crazy the information that the tech people know. It's like oh, you want to do a dead body? Oh, you got to do it this way. And
the shiv that we previewed for next week is very interesting too. It's kind of artistic looking with a twisted handle.
Yeah, and there was
or something.
I'm trying to think what it was. Like it was designed for a particular thing that I had to come up with a solution for. It had to go into. It had to be hidden inside.
Oh, okay, got it. So that's why that.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, well, what can we put it in that we can this, and then what's the shape of it, but it's all and it was all stuff based off of photos of real shivs that had been found in prisons and everything. So it's all kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, in high schools.
Yeah, exactly. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
This is your future.
Well, we in concert with this particular storyline, we also have the Boyd Elmont scene. We haven't really talked about that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he sees him in the little rest home. Thank you for helping me out there. And it's so quick. Elmont goes for the gun.
Ready to go.
I know. But I thought that was great because it shows that he knows that Rowena's after him and has been after him for I don't know how long, and anybody that shows up is likely to be sent by her.
And I think that was another, this is your future.
Yeah.
I think he was seeing, I could end up this way. I could end up with the
paranoid and alone.
Died in prison, paranoid alone, no one to take care of me. To me, this episode was really about reestablishing what everything is on the line, what they're all working toward. You got the love story back. You got Boyd's, and he says, "I've got money and motivation."
Right. And no desire. Killing an old man is not on my bucket list.
Well, yes, he's trying to regain the whole point of this adventure in the first place.
Well, you also have to remember, he's getting to see both sides of this situation. When he first hears about it from Rowena, he's like, this guy probably deserves it. You know, he killed your partner. He's a murderer. You probably cared very much about your partner. I'm sorry about that. But then realizing why he did it and that it's the same sort of thing that he would have done for his wife. Seeing his equal there, he can't just kill him or pathetic in a bed somewhere.
So that's why he takes him out because it's much easier, fewer witnesses. But anyway, he takes a page right out of the Godfather. Did Elmont not see the Godfather?
Exactly.
Never get in the front seat.
Don't sit in the front seat.
Well, not just the Godfather. It's a callback to season 1. I think way back in the pilot when Boyd is sitting in the back seat and he shoots the driver. I think I'm talking about the
down the bridge.
Out on the bridge. But this time, Boyd, he's risen above it. He has Jimmy do it because he can't be witness to
plus,
this.
there's a box of cannoli right there.
Exactly.
Right there.
That's something the art department put in.
There's no cannoli. What are you talking about?
But no, that scene was great because he walks away, he knows what's going on. It was very Godfather-esque, and it's
and the problem is solved.
The problem is solved.
Poor Elmont. He had great, impact in this episode. Now he's gone.
How did he get out of the room? There was no doorknob.
Thanks for noticing that. I just noticed that one myself. I'm like, that was on a note somewhere that I'm sure I got. Which is why you can watch Walton when he goes to close the door. He literally looks at it and goes, "I'm not going to close it all the way."
Oh, is that why? I was wondering. I didn't see that. I was wondering why it wasn't closed all the way.
I swear to God, I was looking at it going, I remember saying that. Make sure we put the doorknob. And it's like, because you're literally at an abandoned, hospital that no one's. It's the hospital in the prison, which is where we shot it. And you're like, no one's been there in the last 20 years. So.
Why would there be a doorknob?
Why would someone? But I want to know who took the doorknob. It's like at what point did they're like, I need one of those for my house.
It was probably one of those old glass types, and they're like, God,
I can get $50 for that on eBay.
There you go.
But it's like it's the things you notice when you're watching the show, going, oh.
Well,
Okay, yeah, no one.
noticed.
But now I can sit there and go back
Yeah.
to my side. It's like, yeah, remember when you guys said no one will notice?
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Hello.
That's true.
Sorry.
I've been noticing that. Way to go.
How
yeah,
do
your
you-
punch list of 100 items. That one.
Yeah.
How do you choose the cars on the show? Because we saw a lot of them this week where we have this central conceit with these tow trucks.
Right.
And then I love Boyd's truck. Like, where do you source these cars?
There's a number of rental places in Hollywood that especially. The main thing is a lot of the older cars, or if it has to do something or drive, you normally need two of them so that in case one breaks down, you keep going.
Yeah.
The fun one was the Gremlin, which
Yeah.
or the,
Yes.
which
Constable Bob.
Constable Bob's Gremlin.
or this was the this episode was the pace was
It was a pacer, I
it's
think.
a pacer.
Yeah, it's on the
which
truck.
is a callback to season 1, episode 2. I'm trying to think of the character's name. It's his pacer. So we kind of brought the car back. The whole idea that
The dentist guy.
yeah, no, it wasn't the dentist. It was episode.
That's episode 3.
Yeah, it was episode 2. If you go back and watch it, 'cause all I know is we built the set on stage and we had to have a cardboard cutout of that car made up so it's like forced perspective in the background. So
Whoa.
we have one sitting around somewhere.
Fantastic.
But our transportation coordinator Tim Abatoy goes and finds all the cool fun cars, and it's just amazing when you show up and you have like matching little crappy pacers or I mean I think it was Michael Dinner who came up who picked the
pacer.
for
Constable Bob's car.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you had like 4 tow trucks and 2 backup cars, or did you just figure those tow trucks were going to work?
We just figured those ones were good. I mean, if you're talking something crazy funky, then
Right.
Yeah.
but those you're pretty good doer.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you could tow it if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I want to know how I can get my hands on one of those trailers at Audrey's.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna. Oh,
But it's going to need to be disinfected a lot.
Okay,
Because I want one.
anyone who watches this show, and anyone most
Yeah.
people don't believe this show is shot in California, but then anyone who's in film and TV, when they watch the show and they see the trailer and they go in
Yeah.
the trailer, they're do you have like a whole set that you guys have built? No, that's the inside of that real trailer. And every season, it's like, well, we don't know if we're ever going to shoot that again, so we don't want to actually build something or buy something. So every year we rent that trailer. That we've probably paid. I don't even want to think, but
Yeah.
that trailer, and if you look at it, and you'll start noticing it in so many movies. It was in The Runaways. It was in. What was the Oliver Stone movie that was the Savages?
Savages, right.
You'll see it in all and you're like, wow, that trailer's got a big resume.
Yeah, trailer gets around, man. We've seen some stuff.
That was a good investment, whoever bought that trailer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the drug parody or the drug lord's place from last episode that they went, which is like the drug lord's timeshare because it was the same drug lord's place in Savages.
Yeah.
So it's like anytime anyone wants.
literally is. You're right.
What does Oliver Stone just follow you guys around?
Exactly.
And go,
It's just like
yeah, that and that and that.
And it was and it was also here's the weird one. It was also the Biggest Loser ranch for one season.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
so
hilarious.
drugs and overweight people.
Right,
So they have a mixed clientele there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
The long reach of Justified.
What was it? Just a shoelace that Jimmy strangles Elmont with, or what was it?
I
it
think
wire?
it was a wire. I forget.
Okay.
It had,
A Garrett.
A Garrett, yeah, some type of cool wire.
Well, yeah, so we had a Garrett, we had a pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to see the end result of the massacre. We had missing face guy. Did you see him?
In the file?
In the photos.
Yeah. So, I guess they finally are giving what I've been asking for.
Skin flaps.
Yes, thank you.
Oh boy.
Skin flaps for Steve.
Yes, that's the new.
And what did you ask me, Tam? Did you look away when the pencil was in there?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Well,
Yes, I
again,
did.
10 years ago, there's no way you were going to be able to show like the blood spurting out and that sort of stuff, or a blown away face and that sort of stuff. So, the bar is moving.
Can we talk about Dewey and Danny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We have this sequence of scenes between the two of them. We've learned over the course of the season that
Dewey needs to wear some deodorant.
Yeah, he smells.
Well, we learned that today, but that Danny is unstable.
Indeed.
And that he can't be trusted. And, when Dewey pushes him too far and he grabs him, and for the first time, Dewey realizes just how dangerous Danny is to him personally.
Right.
And we start seeing him unravel.
Talking about that last shot in the tow truck.
Yeah.
So you know what? Not only that, I agree with you on that, but I also saw that when we saw that we held on him at the last scene, that last shot when they were in the tow truck, and the wiper and the windshield, because he was half in dirt and half out and stuff. I thought that was him making the decision that I'm gonna kill that bastard.
Do you mean when they were driving, right? Not in the last scene, but in the...
They were dealing with the
when they were
GPS thing.
dealing with the GPS.
Right.
Just as they were leaving.
No,
we saw
that's
that
what I
last
thought
shot.
too.
Yeah. I thought Dewey right there said, I'm going to kill this mother.
Oh,
right.
wow.
And I also thought Dewey's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I said that last week. Dewey's dead this
We've been
season.
predicting Dewey's dead for a while.
He's gone.
Yeah, I got a little news about that too in the news section.
But the positioning of Dewey has been really spot on because you sympathize with him, you feel his pain. They're boxing him in. There's no other place he can go.
Right.
So he's got to lash out, and lashing out in that group is not going to get you anything.
And you could just see it, the time bomb ticking on that guy.
And he's being bullied. And when a kid is bullied and he finally fights back, he's an out of control kid. So I think they're positioning him great because when he does finally leave,
breaks a little bit by taking off in the tow truck.
But that's great.
It is wonderful.
He's just screaming. He's like, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm done." And you didn't kill Danny, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Maxwell's.
And just a little part of the Dewey storyline. I really liked when we were seeing Jay and Roscoe show up at Audrey's, and there's the pool.
The pool still there.
That's what I want.
Okay.
The pool.
Swear to God, we were trying to put it on eBay because it's still sitting there, and it's like, okay, well, what do we do? And we're like, okay, well, we gonna ever see it again? It's like, I don't know. And literally that was the one of those late minute editions. We were shooting on Monday morning, and then on Friday they were like, wait, the pool's not deep enough. We got to have naked girls, and it's got to be so deep. Because I'm like, well, it doesn't need to be 5 foot deep. You're not going to get a 5 foot pool that. And they're like, I'm like, they can slouch.
Yeah, they're on their knees.
That's what people do in little. And they're like, no, it's got to be. So we literally had to have a courier from Fresno bring a pool down on Saturday, and it was just a major cluster, and it was like it looked great, and it's fun, but it's like then every episode is just sitting there. I'm like, so I emailed Graham. I said, Graham, please let me put this on eBay, like as if Dewey is selling it himself. So, but
I liked it. It was such a remnant of the pool's he's empty. He's shot, he's broken, all that kind of stuff.
But it just represents Dewey's broken dream.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's really the thing for him, which is he's very reactionary whenever he deals with. So it's like he's sitting there going, okay, I'm going to get out of. He hasn't really thought through what he's going to do with.
He's not a strategic thinker.
Yeah, he's like, that guy's trying to hurt me. That guy's wanting to kill me. This is a bad situation. I'm going to solve it. And what I liked about the last show with him screaming was it went back to kind of Boyd in season 2 when he had the scene where he's dragging the guy outside the car, and then he drops him, and he gives that same guttural type of scream. And it's like, you know what? My life isn't working the way. It's not going where I want it to go. And it's kind of that really great moment where it's like, hopefully things are going to work out.
I know, and when he's screaming and he's driving away, part of me is going, just keep driving. Just go, because it's the only escape.
Just keep going.
And of course he doesn't.
And again, he and Ava, they both had that moment of everything's going to be great. Dewey was floating in his pool. He had his
money. He had his
and then Daryl shows up.
Too bad.
And he's just getting deeper and deeper and further from his dream.
Okay.
But that pool, is that pool still up for auction?
I haven't put it up yet. It was one of those things like, could we? And everyone's like, no one's gonna buy that thing. I'm like, it'd just be funny.
God, are you kidding me?
It'd be just funny to do it.
Just get the crew to autograph it.
Yeah. Well, what's funny with Damon plays Dewey is he's Australian.
Yeah.
So you're having a conversation with him, and he's in his character, and then all of a sudden he drops into his Australian accent. And you're like, dude, stop that! don't do that.
Quit it.
If we had more time,
me out.
Really funny, quick story. We were shooting a scene in season 2 at Ava's house, and Dewey was involved in it. And then like 2 days later, Clint Eastwood was renting Ava's house for his movie J. Edgar. And guess who's playing the guy who takes the Lindbergh baby? But Damon.
Wow.
So he comes in 2 days later, and he just goes told to show up at a parking lot, and they'll drive him to the thing. He's driving in, he's like reading the script, and he looks up, and he's like, wait, I'm on the wrong show. And he literally 2 days later played a scene at Ava's house in a Clint Eastwood movie.
Wow.
Oh my
which was
God.
just funny. And I'm like, yeah, but you got paid. I didn't get paid for them using Ava's house.
that must just take a lot of work to keep everything straight in your head and not drop into Dewey. By the way, all the tattoos now, obviously they're temps, but are they Are they redone?
Redone every single time. It's our makeup people do an amazing. And it's one of those shows. With a lot of the shows, you get a lot of attention to detail, and a lot of those. A lot of times with the background actors, they'll have people who already have tattoos or things like that. But it's a silly legal thing. You actually have to have clearance for someone to show their tattoo.
Oh, because it's original artwork?
It's original artwork.
Wow.
So it's like someone...
Never would have thought that.
The tattoo artist who did Mike Tyson's face
sued. I saw that story.
Was it
Hangover?
Yeah,
yep.
Because he said, yeah, that's my artwork, and you don't have the right to use my artwork. So everything has to be original. So we do a bit.
So even with the background players, you have to get clearance and
or
if
they
it's
have
identifiable.
To,
I would imagine.
Yeah, if it's identifiable, or if it's featured.
Wow, God!
So,
there you go. Never did know that.
Yeah. So so when I was in Harlan at the prison, they had all the prisoner tattoos had 13 and a half tattooed on their chest, which was 12 jurors, 1 judge, and half a chance.
Oh, excellent.
Nice. So all those little details that we tried. So I think a couple of more in the Harlan prison than we did before, but
cool.
So look for that.
That's my tattoo when I turn 20.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Raylan?
Yeah, we got to get on to Raylan and Miller.
Oh yeah.
So what do we think, Eric? Nice, huh?
Excellent.
Good to see him back.
Great job.
Great to see him back. You know, I'm watching him and I'm thinking Celebrity Rehab, and there's that whole overlap where I'm going, well, okay, you know, you're doing good. And again, this was Raylan seeing his future.
Yeah.
If without a course correction.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And I loved this storyline. I loved him having to hang out. And Eric Roberts took that over right away. And the ribs.
And the ribs.
Course correction is great.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Nothing, go ahead.
No. Okay. Go ahead. So, wonderful, wonderful seeing Eric Roberts.
Deadeye, by the way, just like Raylan is.
Mm-hmm.
The guy had great grouping in his shots when we first meet him.
Except no glasses the first time he's driving, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know why they didn't use glasses. He wears them all the other times.
He doesn't need him when he's driving.
Because he's nearsighted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think
bigger question for me is how does Boyd get out of lockup after? I mean, they catch him right there.
Yeah.
It's a criminal conspiracy. They're talking about percentages. You know,
right.
But they didn't know what they were talking about. I mean,
Jay's
the only thing they
willing
really
to testify,
I
mean, but why would he? Because they just killed or shot his brother.
Yeah, I don't think Jay's willing to test it. But I agree.
That's
it's kind
a
of
great
like,
line. Can I be excused?
Yeah.
Excused from the table. So anyway, Eric Roberts, good to see him back.
Also not dead.
Yeah.
Eric Roberts.
Did people think Eric
not
Roberts
dead.
was dead? He's not dead.
Oh,
not dead.
The guy works all the time. What are you guys? Have you not watched a television?
Not dead.
No, not dead in the series.
Not dead in the car in the show.
Stay with us. Stay
Sorry.
with us.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Not dead. As Graham Yost said, he just got hit by a truck, for God's sake. Walk it off.
Yeah. That's funny.
I mean, Johnny got shot in the chest with a shotgun.
Exactly.
And he got better.
And
not dead.
Boyd got shot in the heart or close to it. Anyway.
Not dead.
Not dead.
So, yeah.
There's a theory that the Crowders are actually vampires. And it's like,
I love that.
it's
So
like
Johnny might be back.
He never can tell.
Yeah, all right. All right, well.
Funny.
I'm sure we'll see more of him then.
His head's bobbling.
All right.
Why?
He got shot in the head. Now it just bobbles.
Why do you think that Raylan is still avoiding Florida?
I don't know. I still can't figure out why they're doing that.
Well, I mean, I think he can't let go of the job. He can't let go of work. But there's something I think terrifying to him about this kid.
I think as soon as he sees the kid, for real, and holds it. His
real.
whole life's over.
He might be.
His whole life is different, and I think that scares the crap out of him. I also think he's got some fear about what kind of father he would be because the father that was modeled for him, because Arlo was not the best.
He's still in love with Winona.
Sure, okay, I'll give you that.
Even though she won't have him.
But we'll see, because after spending time with Alex, and Alex says, you know, I wanted to do that. I never have the time. You know, that might shift.
Yeah.
You know, that might shift.
Well,
and it was great seeing him back with Art after spending that time, because I like to think his whole perspective has been shifted now.
But it didn't seem like it, because the argument with Art did not seem to.
Yeah, Art's argument was very valid, which is just, you know, like, Like my wife is right. You're never gonna change.
But
you win again.
There was so much pain in that. You know what he.
Yeah, but none of it seemed to get to Raylan. It didn't seem to shift his idea or his thinking.
It didn't seem to get to him very much.
And of course you can't because otherwise the show's over.
Right.
But you'd like to see him struggle with it more. And perhaps he will in the next episode.
Fathers and sons. You know, Raylan is he's reacting to Art in the same way that he would react to. Oh my God! How am I forgetting his father? Arlo. Jesus! It's the same way that he would react to Arlo. He's not giving him an inch. He's not going to let him change who he is. He's showing him an enormous lack of respect, even though Art's been pulling for him the whole time. And I'm wondering if on some level Raylan won't let himself realize that.
Well,
I think that's great. I think you're right.
Yeah, Art has that great line in there. He says, "Yeah, you're a working man," and that had to have stung because you're so far away from like a regular working guy. You have no idea what the working guy follows rules.
No, but he does. He likes to think of himself as one.
I know, but that's why Art was choosing all.
Oh, absolutely.
You could just see the pain and feel the pain that Art was in. Just the betrayal
and the anger,
and the anger.
Oh, yeah, he's still very angry.
As he should be.
And he was just underneath and just playing it. It was nice. And I think he's pissed off about his poster.
Yeah, he's pissed off about the poster. He's look. I want this reconciliation so badly.
Of course.
I'm tired of seeing them
No, because it's so much fun watching them with their interplay and and being on the same team.
They're the guys, But until Raylan is willing to make a big move in the other direction, it's not going to happen. Art's not going to be the one to budge this time, because he's had to do it the past 1,000.
And even if he did, it wouldn't work anyway, as he says. How many times does he shoot him the new one?
You don't even know what the original one is
anymore.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I like Art getting in his face. I like Art calling it down, just saying this is it, boom, and I like that.
Yeah, but it really does feel like you're in a family quarrel and you've been invited to dinner and you're just kind of going, I'll have more bread, please.
I want them to get at it even deeper and louder. And
that's what Raylan wants, and Art's like, I'm not going to engage.
Are we going to have more Art in the next episodes? You can tell us that, can't you? At least. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he says, no, you know what? You aren't here. You aren't here. It's man, he's saying the guy's invisible.
You don't mean anything.
Yeah, God, that hurts.
Totally discounting him, which is great.
Yeah.
Good Christopher Mill. Love it.
Well-written episode. Okay. So let's talk fun stuff now.
Wait, are we done with the Miller thing?
We're a little
just gets run over.
Well, the fact that he just shot Roscoe, he didn't even count. I'll give it a 3. I guess he counted
in his head.
He's counting his head.
Raylan counts to 10.
That's true,
He's like, when you get older, you only have to count to 3 and then just shoot.
I thought he was gonna go, I'll give you the 3 and then just as Roscoe's counting, he just goes 3, bang.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
These guys sure allow a lot of gun waving before they fire.
Well, he lost his criminal informant in this episode, so he's pissed.
A 15-year-long relationship.
15-year relationship.
And like that scene where Hot Rod's dying.
But but the difference, because you talked about Raylan seeing without any course correction, he's going to end up like Miller. But even Raylan waits for somebody to actually pull.
Yeah.
Before he shoots.
Almost always.
He does now. He does now.
When hasn't he? I mean,
but look
Miller.
at everything Miller's doing. Miller's drinking on the job.
Yeah.
He's not really waiting for anybody to give him a fair shot.
Right.
And he's reckless. And he's just like, hey, let's go chase tow trucks. And he's like going, oh my God.
No.
And I think that the way he was brandishing, it was like, it's the far side of Justified. It's like, okay, he didn't pull on me. He was waving the gun. Hey, I thought didn't see he flipped it out. He was going to shoot me.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the whole thing of it. He's going, and it's just like what you said. It's like, 5, 10, whatever years later. It's like, sure, he was justified in killing him, but to what extent?
Yeah.
Right. It's like when Roscoe and Jay are advancing, and the guy says, I'll just take the cuffs off after I shoot you.
Right.
And they're like, that's some Miller shit.
Right.
You wouldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Time.
Right.
All right, we got to get to some of our thank yous to people who've written in and given us some comments and some ratings
we got
for us. So thank you very much for that.
Really
Tamara?
wonderful 5-star reviews on iTunes. Thank you, Frank 77647. Feels like a freeloader because he's been listening to us since the very beginning. Ben 1228 gave us some predictions about Ava and Boyd. We got from Big 99, great podcast. Really looking forward to our show every week. And then this is the one that I wanted to read last week and got messed up. He's Apple Pie, Andy CHR says, I've been a huge fan of Justified since day one, just discovered our AfterBuzz. And he says, as Boyd would say, they've been accused of being a lot of things. Inarticulate ain't one of them.
Oh, you mean about us?
About us.
That's interesting. And there was somebody that we were talking about last week about why didn't they didn't just bury the bodies in the desert and everything. We were going on and on, having a nice discussion about that.
And I got a tweet this morning, or the other day, that said, I think they just didn't have any shovels.
There you go.
Sometimes it's the simple answers, right?
We're going on and on about all our theories.
They just didn't have any shovels.
Would have been an easy fix. Someone could have said that.
If they had a Weeblo shovel, it would have been great.
Right.
Yes.
The Weeblo shovel can take care of things.
All right, Occam's razor. Yeah. All right, let's go on to our news.
Do you want a news? Okay, great.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Speaking of Damon Harriman, the Aussie has just scored yet another U.S. series role. As reported last week, he's appearing in the CBS pilot Battle Creek, and this week we find out he's in final negotiations for a role as a series regular in the new series Flesh and Bone. It's a drama for the Starz Network, follows a young ballet dancer with a troubled past. The producers say the series will explore dysfunction and glamour of the ballet world. It's being executive produced by Breaking Bad's Moira Wally-Beckett.
Wow, nice. So what's a 3 gauge?
Yeah.
Overachiever.
Right? And a new role for Michael Rappaport. Steven Spielberg is directing Michael Rappaport on the set of his latest show, Public Morals. Spielberg is working as the executive producer on the new period drama set in 1967 in New York City's Public Morals Division, where cops fight crime and temptations that come from dealing with vice of all kinds. The show is written, directed, and stars Ed Burns and will air on TNT. No release date is yet been announced.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay.
And just quickly, we keep talking about Constable Bob. I found an interview from a couple weeks ago with Graham Yost. He says everybody wants the Constable Bob show with Patton Oswalt. It's funny, Patton actually toyed with the idea of doing a faux opening sequence for a show about Constable Bob, sort of like the Sheriff Lobo show with Claude Akins in the 70s, but he ended up not doing it because he didn't want to make fun of anything Justified related because he loves it so much.
There you go.
Well, that's great.
So there's another, add to the rumor that Constable Bob is coming back.
Oh, he'll come back. He'll come back for something. Anything you want to?
I have no idea.
Yeah, okay,
we love Patton, but I had no idea.
And how many spare gremlins are on the set right now?
I think we have 5.
Okay, so that's plenty.
At least
like borrowed from Wayne's World.
And how many go bags?
Okay,
That's it
so
for news.
now we want to turn all our attention to Dave. I hope you don't mind. So listen, the production designer, of course, is responsible for the entire look of the production.
Of the show. So everything from all the sets and anything, location. I work with our location manager, Jared Kirk, to pick the best places around. Basically to make California look like Kentucky, which is always a pain in the ass.
I know, which you've done amazingly. I mean, that's like Matt was saying earlier.
I was saying before the show, I honestly, I thought it was shot in Kentucky until I saw the special features on the second season Blu-ray. If I hadn't seen those, I probably would have gone on far longer.
Yeah, a buddy of mine lives in Santa Clarita, and when we first met, I said, you realize we shoot Justified, and he's like, no.
2 miles from your home.
No, he's like, and in literally locations 4 minutes from his house.
Yeah.
So
well, every once in a while, because we have friends that live in there, we go, oh wait, I've seen.
Hey, wait, we hung out that Ralph's.
Last week in the mall.
Yeah, in the mall.
Exactly. So, but it looks fabulous. I think it was the pilot when he's driving. Raylan's driving the big barn that says "As Jesus lives, as Jesus loves," or something like that.
The pilot
was shot.
It was shot in
Pittsburgh.
But even that, but there were all of it was.
The whole pilot was shot in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so they were talking about one.
So then, how did you find some locations that matched? Because you have the bridge, which is featured heavily in the pilot.
Yeah. So every time you see the bridge, if you know, it's kind of like old Battlestar Galactica. It's the same shot. It's that one shot of the bridge, and then different vehicles pull. It's always the same shot, which is cool. We make you, and that's from the pilot. But the bridge itself is a very close match that's out in Piru, California.
Wow.
And we always. I think we've shot that 4 or 5 times.
So when you have to go to places that are like, Detroit and those areas, where are you going for those?
Detroit was downtown LA at an abandoned hospital.
Okay.
So like that, where they go into the elevator and they do that.
Was it at Linda
Right?
Vista?
Yeah.
Linda Vista.
I knew it was
Yeah.
Linda Vista. Sorry.
And then
Spent a lot of time there?
I was on a film shoot there a while back.
Oh, okay.
and then the apartment that they go into in Detroit, we built that on stage. And then it really varies. Everything from people talk about what was the hardest set to do. Easily the coal mine in season 2.
And here he is.
And it was crazy because it was actually, and this is really how crazy Justified is. It was a Quonset hut that was built up in Green Valley that is less than 50 yards away from Audrey's bar, and this is where it gets crazy later. The comeback to that, it was a Quonset hut built to cover an RV.
Yes.
So in order to shoot the coal mine, we had to move the RV out, and the RV was sitting there around the corner. Guess whose RV that ended up becoming?
Audrey's.
Win
Duffy's RV. It's a
Win
new
Duffy.
one, right?
Wow.
So that was literally because if you go back to season 1, Win Duffy had an office.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it became, now he's on the move, let's do an RV. And it's like, okay, there's one. And literally, it's the people whose house we built the coal mine out. And it was basically just this big structure. And we, because it was such a short scene, we had to construct it near where everything else was going on. So we had looked around, and of course, we don't have coal mines here in LA.
Yeah.
So it was like, what can we do? And I had seen a photo of something similar to that in Kentucky. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can build this. And everyone looked like me. You're like, okay, you're high. And I'm like, nah, trust me, I can do it. And there's a photo of the sketch that I did. The top photo is my sketch of what I think it should look like, and that's done over the photo on the bottom, which is the actual location. So that whole coal mine, and then we visual effects.
You built the inside too, right?
And we built it started out with in the first episode, it was just the interior of the coal mine.
Yeah.
And then, we had an outline for future scripts that said, okay, more interior coal mines. We built this big, elaborate thing that had channels that went off to different sides. And then I'm up in Green Valley where there's no cell reception. If you watch any of the DVD extras we talk about, there's no cell. So I come back down the hill, and everyone's phones explode at the same time because you hit that one area where, and it's like my phone goes off, and it's like I get the new script, and it says exterior of the coal mine. I'm like, I just built the interior of the coal mine. We don't have an exterior of the coal mine. So then that was for the next episode. So it was kind of figuring out. We went and looked at locations, and we're like, well, maybe it's inside of a building that's at a coal mine, and all these different things. And then I have tons of research, so I was like looking around, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it solved, and we ended up putting that together over the weekend, and then a week
over a weekend.
No, we had to put together the concept and then pitch it to them, and then but it's TV. We get 7 days to shoot an episode, so we had just over a week to build the coal mine, and just basically it's over a week to do anything. So.
Wow.
I've got a question.
I'm sorry, but is that the most challenging part of it? Is trying to make LA look like Harlan?
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's just it's all the different little things. It's because you're avoiding palm trees, you're avoiding Spanish tile roofs, and it's all the different.
Shooting Miami earlier this season was helpful, or shooting Florida.
In Florida, that was so nice. It was,
or shooting Mexico, I would imagine it's pretty easy.
And that's funny because we very seldom have we done the Mexico thing, but and we actually shot the same location that we did season 1 when we had the dentist episode. But the funny thing was in the Miami episode is half the Miami stuff was shot here and half of the stuff was shot in Miami. Oh, so it's like I dare you to figure out which one.
Forget it. I can't figure it out.
That's a good little
a
drinking game.
Exactly. We should go back to that.
A little moonshine.
Yeah. Nice.
For me, it's that one shot. It's from the season opener this year where it's just the car. It's maybe a helicopter shot. It's like up high. And
it's going into the glaze, and that was a crane shot. Our executive producer, Don Kurt, who's also does the second unit direct, he got that. And a lot of times you have Michael Dinner shot the first one, directed the first episode, but Don does a lot of the second unit directing where you need to spend an hour getting the perfect shot.
Right.
And, he did the car crash. He did a lot of the stuff. I think he did the scene tonight with the tow truck spinning around, and but a lot of that fun stuff, and that was all shot. Like the tow truck spinning around, that's literally shot 80 feet from Audrey's. So it's literally trying to make as much stuff out of one little location.
Exactly.
Do you when you're doing the design for the different offices and stuff, do the actors have their input? And a follow-up, if I may, what's with the gas can in Boyd's office?
The gas can lamp.
The gas can. Oh, is it? Oh, it's a lamp.
Yeah, it's the gas can lamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on the scene. It's like if it's a if it's an office or something. A lot of times our interaction with the secondary characters is not as much as it would be with say Tim Oliphant or Walter or Joelle. So we've kind of give them the background and give them the world to live in, and then when they walk in, we say, okay, here's what we do. I mean, we did a lot with that with Allison this year with her house. We got like her family photos and things, her real stuff to put around, and talk to her about Amy wanted to add a hookah and some other little items, and so I mean it really depends. I mean, it's like when we were doing the coal mine stuff, I sat and talked with for hours with Walton about coal mining, because a lot of times in the script, and our writers are amazing, but it will say Boyd's working in the coal mine, and that's it. And it's like, well, what specifically is he doing, and what is everyone else doing? And that a lot of that comes back to our research and myself and the prop master to come up with, okay, this is what you would do in anthracite mining, and this is how you're doing it, and then
and he's an explosives guy. So.
Yeah, exactly. So. And it's like, well, how do you do that? What type of stuff, and what does Emulex look like, and all that fun stuff.
Go ahead. No, just I know that we need to wrap up pretty soon, but I also want to ask you about Nazi paraphernalia.
Oh yeah, my run for presidency is pretty much over. I have spent. I mean, literally, I had to sign up for Nazi websites because for the gym that we did, and it's like, oh, I wanted these cool posters, but it's like, you don't want to do cliches. So it's like you sign up, and there was this one website.
The real stuff.
And it's like, I had all this great stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I got to check that out. But yeah, it's all authentic and.
Yeah, I just realized you could pretty much do whatever you want and then go, I'm a set designer.
Yeah.
I got to do this stuff.
Exactly. It's like, between horror houses and Nazi stuff and cocaine and meth, I visit bad websites all the time.
Can you tell us one or three of the things that you created that you went, that's like you were really happy with the way it turned out or what it looked like?
I would say by far it was the barbecue joint for
Limehouse.
Elston's joint.
Okay, so I'm about to ruin everyone's illusions here. Can I do that?
Yes.
That's actually built in the yard of Mag's house. So literally that was like an area up in Green Valley. We found the area, and it was like, well, where do we put this? How do we? And we kind of knew we wanted a compound area, and it was, so literally Mag's house is here, and the barbecue joint is right next to it. We repainted the house that we had used for her house, and the barn where they did the dancing in season 2. That's the slaughterhouse.
Wow.
So we just really reworked that whole
great.
thing. But the textures and everything, I had done so much research. I was down in Atlanta on another show, and I had done all research on all these backwoods type of barbecue joints. And it's just really the team came together and really did an amazing job on that.
Made me want barbecue every time I saw it.
Well, and Walton even said that. It's like he's like this. He's from Georgia, and he's like it's like it feels like that. And the fun, it was a fun thing because when, there was the big sign that said Elston's joint that was up on the thing, and when it came out from the shop, it was all brand new and the bright neon, and producers freaked out. They're like, oh my God, you don't understand what we're doing here. I go, chill out. Let me do my stuff, and then we literally they're like, but and then I kicked the neon and it broke, and I go, this is where we start, and it's like then we rusted it up and made it look mean and everything.
It was great.
It was really awesome.
I wish we had so much more time.
I know, it's really unfair.
And they're yelling at predictions. We're not going to do predictions.
We're just going to go. We're going to skip predictions. So what's up for you now, or what is it that you're looking forward to, or are you?
I've had back shows for the last 2 years, so about 2 weeks of time off will be good. And
nice.
Then,
you gonna go down to Miami and see your kid?
I hope so. Exactly.
He's gonna visit his mother in prison.
I wish I could go back to Miami. The weather down there was just such a nice change because we didn't have to sit there and go, oh, we can't see. I'm like, we're shooting Miami for Miami. I'm so happy here.
Yeah, that's great.
It doesn't look Miami enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we get more Miami here?
And all those gators, there was no animal wrangling. Those were real alligators that were just, with the exception of the one that jumped up.
Yeah.
But the other ones were literally just floating around.
They were atmosphere.
Yeah.
Was there an armadillo wrangler?
There was an armadillo wrangler, and that was a one-take armadillo. That armadillo nailed it on the first take, and everyone's like, oh, because everyone's like, oh, we're going to take 5 hours. Yeah, and it's like, I think it did 3 takes, but it was like literally there was one where it ran, turned, looked, and it's like, everyone's like,
Damn.
Wait.
Good armadillo.
No, it's hard.
It pays to hire the pro armadillo.
That's
Exactly,
right. That's why they get the big
Hey, look,
bucks.
I gotta read this. This is hilarious. This is from this is Quarles, Robert Quarles. It's his medicine bottle.
Yes.
It says
This is the level of detail. Here we go.
This is the level of detail. Take 2 tablets every 2 hours as need for pain, or if you just need a bit of a pick-me-up. and then this is great. Side effects may include anxiety, major freakouts, albino baby headness, and possible loss of limbs. Awesome. I love that.
Did he read it? What did he say when he read it?
Oh well, no, that was actually that was based off the original one that we had. That was a crew gift that we gave out at the end of it, because clearly we didn't know he was going to lose his limb.
Yeah,
right.
No, but yeah, the actors are always I mean,
that is awesome.
And that's one of the fun things we try and do is really bring the attention to detail, because we never know when they're going to end up doing a close-up on something, and they're going to do a close-up on a doorknob that's not there or something like that. So we you know, every piece of paperwork, it's like if you look at I think I noticed in the shot today there was a the newspaper clipping next to Raylan's desk that talks about Shelby. You know, all the little details like that are
the
just
newspaper in the background. I have just kind of a procedural question. How big is your team, your art team?
Not as big as it should be.
Really?
If the producers are listening.
Yeah.
I have an amazing art director, Alwana Bogdan, Shauna Aronson, my set decorator, and then we probably, you know, construction, probably about 50 people.
Wow.
So between construction and paint and props and set decoration and all that stuff. So it's a lot of wrangling around, because from the Whittier, you know, in this episode alone, from the Whittier prison to Green Valley, where we shot Audrey's, is about 2 hours.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of round tripping. You're there and you're there and there and there, and then it's, you know, and it's not always, you know, we don't shoot everything in sequence. So we go when we shoot one episode at the prison, and the next episode we're back at the prison, and then back at Audrey's, and the, you know, silly things like the exterior of Audrey's is in Green Valley, but the interior of Audrey's is on stage in
Oh boy. Well, it's truly amazing what you guys are able to create based, you know, given the limits of what your time and money and all that kind of stuff. It's really impressive. I can't tell you.
We're pretty sure they never sleep though. Over there. No department sleeps over there.
I'm sorry. I had one more. What's your favorite color, and how does Boyd die?
Favorite color is rust, and Boyd dies.
Rust?
Rust, yeah, it's a great color.
Okay.
Especially on Justified, and
Sure, there's a lot of it on Justified.
Well, it was interesting, you know, talking with you know, because I do talk to the actors, and you get from glimpse of them from their input and everything where the story's going. So it's interesting, you know, knowing how this season ends. I had talked with Walton early on, and he's like, they have a passion for where they're going, and you know, it's kind of the writing is really infused with the actors and where they're kind of going with it, and whether it's Joelle with the stuff she's bringing to the prison, or Walton, and it's great. And you were talking about the Art Raylan thing. It's just those two actors really just bring it every single day.
They absolutely do.
Yep.
All right, we have to wrap, Peppers. We have to say goodbye. Is there? Can you let everybody know where they can find you and learn about you? And
you can find me on Blackhawk Design.
There you go.
On Twitter.
On Twitter, and today, because we were talking about this, I'm going to tweet a link to the Art of Season 2 Justified book that you can get on Isuzu, and then I'll send out an article that we did for Perspective Magazine, all on the show. So
awesome.
Thank you for being with us. It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
All right, we have to let everybody know quickly where can they find you.
Abbreviated.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman. And if you throw a rock here at AfterBuzz TV, you'll find a show with me on.
Yes, we will.
Bottomley Steven at Twitter, and check out bandcamp.com. Bears and You. Check them out. They're awesome.
I'm at Tamara Berg, TamaraBerg on Twitter.
And you can find me here at AfterBuzz TV. Again, thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you.
Hope to have you back.
Thanks.
I hope you get a well-deserved rest, and can't wait to see what you're doing next
enjoy
season.
some of that apple pie.
There you go. All right, everybody.
Apple pie.
On behalf of everybody here, we want to thank you very much for joining in, and we will talk to you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.